Hello, good afternoon. It's Windy News coming to you live from the News Hub here at the University of Education, Winneba. Coming up in the next minute. University of Education, Winneba to upgrade German unit to departmental status. Grasag UEW holds first Senate meeting for 2024-2025 academic year. Ministerial averting chaos forces venue change after destruction of equipment. And in business, Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana calls for bold reforms from Finance Minister and Minister Designate for Trade. On the foreign front, Uganda confirms new Ebola outbreak as nurse dies. We have details of all these stories and many more coming up in the bulletin. My name is Nana Ama Nyamike Baini. Now the news in detail. The University of Education Winneba has announced plans to elevate its German unit to departmental status, marking a significant development in the institution's international academic collaborations. The announcement was made during a meeting at the Vice-Chancellor's office attended by key university officials and a delegation from the German unit, including Sylvain Janssen, Deputy Head of Missions at the Embassy of Federal Republic of Germany. The meeting was also attended by the university's registrar, Mrs. Wilhelmina Tetemensa, the Dean of Faculty of Foreign Languages Education, Professor Charlotte Fofolomote, and the Principal of the College of Languages, Professor Mrs. Rebecca Apamgulu Nate. UEW Vice-Chancellor Professor Stephen Jobson Mitchell expressed his enthusiasm about the development, stressing the importance of the German language program in strengthening the university's academic standing. He also hinted at the potential for future collaborations in technical and vocational education and training.
As part of our strategic vision is to promote programs that would facilitate research, etc. And so when we upgrade it to the BSc level, we're now going to produce lecturers at that level or students at that level who will teach at the various second cycle, institutions. And we are the only institution that is mandated to train teachers. And now the basic requirement for teaching at the second cycle basic school is first degree and nothing else. And so if you are not able to train people at that level, then who will train, who will go and teach the student at that level? And so it fits into our vision. And I think it will really, help us. We are looking at TVET education, as I indicated, to them. We have the School of Creative Arts, and they are into TVET education. They are doing textiles and fashion. They are doing something related to woodwork and in design. They are into. We also have a faculty that is looking at food production, etc. These are all TVET education, and that is what we need in Ghana here to solve our unemployment, problems. I have always indicated. Have you ever seen anybody who has gone through apprenticeship training, acquired the skills, and using the certificate to look for a job? No, there isn't anything like that. Before he completes, he's already taking most of the customers of his master. And so we need to really produce students who have skills that, people, needs, rather than going into these programs that doesn't give the people, the skills. And that's the way to go, now. And so we are looking at collaboration in the area of TVET education, TVET research, and the like, in addition to the other collaborations that, we have with them. And they were so positive that they are going to help us, to achieve those targets.
Sivan Janssen, deputy head of missions at the German embassy, confirmed that the German embassy had already secured accreditation for the upgrade and expressed eagerness for its immediate implementation. This move is set to strengthen UEW's academic offerings and deepen its ties with Germany.
Department to offer better services and better training to the students and to have good standing inside the university.
If you're able to go through this successfully, what other collaborative areas are you looking at in the future?
Well, there are a lot of potential different areas for collaboration. So, for example, one could think of including German language training into Tibet education, at least in some selected institutions of Tibet. There is the possibility to include that in medical education. There's a huge shortage of labor, for example, also in Germany, so anybody who has some basic language skills would also have it easier on the German job market. Every year we have over 1,000 students from Ghana that intend to study in Germany because actually university in Germany is often in English and it is free. We don't even have study fees at the public university, so that is a huge opportunity for Ghanaian students to go for studies. And I think the number of alumni who studied in Germany and come back to Ghana is enormous and competitive also with the positions that they're holding today. So many different areas where there is potential for more collaboration and also to fulfill opportunities.
So can you inform me on your designation?
I'm Sivan Janssen, Deputy Head of Mission of the German Embassy.
Still on the university story, the Institution for Educational Research and Innovation Studies through its Center for Educational Policy Studies at the University of Education, Winneba, hosted a research funding dissemination seminar to address the growing concerns over indiscipline in Ghana's senior high school. The seminar held at the IRIS conference room brought together researchers, educators and policymakers to discuss the pressing issue. Professor Nujo, a leading academia, presented alarming findings on the increasing rate of student indiscipline, highlighting its adverse effect on academic performance, teacher authority and the overall school environment. According to Professor Nujo, the root causes of this trend stem from various factors, including societal influence, school-based challenges, and recent policy changes, particularly the removal of corporal punishment. To address this issue, he emphasized the need for urgent reforms to restore discipline and enhance learning outcomes. Now, staying on this particular story, I have online via Zoom Professor Hopius Nujo, the Director of IRIS, Mr. Cosmon Zukonu, Senior Research Fellow and HOD for Center for Educational Policy Studies, and Andrews Aqua, Research Fellow at IRIS UEW. Gentlemen, please, if you can hear me, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us on Windy News. Please,
thank you for having us.
Okay. So, I have Professor with me on the line. Following the news that we just read, what specific regulations can be implemented to maintain order in schools?
Sorry, come again with your question.
Okay, so I asked what specific regulations can be implemented to maintain order in schools?
Okay, so for the specific regulations to be implemented, first of all, I will touch on about 2 or 3, and then if other senior colleagues will also touch on the others. The first one is that we have to make sure the stakeholders or school authorities reintroduce regulated disciplinary measures. That is the first point of call, because in so doing, we establish controlled alternative disciplinary measures.
Please, can you take out? Hello, sir.
Order.
Hello, sir. Please, can you take the mouthpiece from your mouth a little? It's giving us some signals. Okay, thank you. We can go ahead, please. Sir, please, you can go ahead.
So the first point I was saying was to do a reintroduction of regulated disciplinary measures, and I was saying that we need to come together to make sure that disciplinary measures are introduced, but we make it in alternative ways to maintain law and order, such as monitoring the physical activities, and then also making sure that, for example, one of the physical activities I'll talk about is supervised reading and also suspension protocols. And then again, we also need to make, right under that, we also need to make sure that we engage stakeholders, including students, to develop inclusive discipline frameworks. That is one. And then two, the media has a role to play as far as this thing of in discipline or ensuring discipline in senior high schools is concerned. So in that regard, we are talking about media collaboration and sensitization. So there is a need for the media to be working with us, or there is a need for educational institutions to work with media outlets to provide support balance reporting on education issues and promote positive behaviors among students. That is two. And then we are talking about strengthening religious and community involvement.
Okay.
That is three. Now, number four is that GES should revise the code of conduct. So GES should make sure that the code of conduct are revised to reflect current challenges, incorporating balanced discipline practices that protect students' rights while supporting teachers' authority.
Okay.
You see that today, most of the students are saying that government says they cannot be caned, and so if they are caned, they can be reported, and at the end of the day, what happens? But if this revision is done, I am sure it is going to reintroduce authority back into the teacher's hand, and then the thing of discipline can be ensured in the various senior high schools. And then finally, I would say that there is a need to reinstitute the PTA, that is the Parent-Teacher Association.
Okay.
And if that happens, it is going to allow teachers and parents to work together in monitoring and promoting discipline among students, fostering a collective approach to behavior management.
Okay.
So these are some of the policy recommendations, if you ask them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. But staying right there, let me go to Mr. Cosmos. Mr. Cosmos, if you can hear me, how can school administrators ensure that discipline measures are fair and consistent? Please, Mr. Cosmos, your microphone is muted. Okay, thank you.
Is it okay now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Largely, school administrators have a major role to play when it comes to managing student behaviors and disciplinary issues. One of the ways school administrators can use is to engage students, especially their leaders, in the formulation of rules and regulations. If the students are part of this arrangement, then they will own whatever arrangement we have agreed on, so that it wouldn't look like the rules and regulations are imposed by management alone, but it should be a collective decision between the school and the students' leadership, so that we come out with an arrangement that works for all, and students will then own it and get committed to it.
Okay. Okay, please.
Secondly,
okay.
The current system put in place by the GES need to be strengthened. That is the guidance and counseling coordinating unit of the secondary schools. That they need to resource them so they can do their work effectively, because we have a very large student body, and if you have one counseling coordinator for a particular school, it becomes difficult. It should be a teamwork where teachers can engage the students, know their problems, and help them, to manage some of the difficulties they may have.
Okay.
They are adolescents who are growing and have their own challenges. So it's important that the guidance and counseling unit is resourced to be able to manage some of these disciplinary issues.
Okay.
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, Mr. Cosmos, please, pertaining the removal of corporal punishment from the Ministry of Education, as it's been said by Mr. Andrews, is there any role that teachers can play in enforcing discipline measures in the classroom?
Yeah. Has been abolished.
Okay.
But that does not mean that we cannot put any other thing in place. Like I said earlier, if together with students, we come out with rules and regulations and get ourselves committed to it. If students are part of the formulation of rules and regulations, then to whatever arrangement we have, those regulations of the school, then that person has to subject himself to whatever arrangement we have agreed on. That's, I think, if they are part of the process, then they will get committed to it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jikonu, for that particular answer. But hold on, let me go to Mr. Aqua to have him answer some of the questions that I have before we call it a day here. Mr. Aqua, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so pertaining the social media emphasis that you early made, I want to know the leverage to promote discipline and responsible behavior among students. I am asking this question pertaining the prior videos that we saw circulating on social media that senior high schools are doing some uncalled attitude pertaining the video that we saw trending. So what is your answer for this one too?
Okay, for me, if you ask me, I would say that the social media should be very well regulated. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, please.
Yes, the social media used by the students should be very well regulated. I remember back in the days when I was attending senior high school, there was nothing like phone for senior high school students. The first phone was when I had completed senior high school. But today, there's some needed or necessary for students in the senior high school to use phones. In that regard, teachers, parents, and even stakeholders should make sure that they regulate the use of the phones for these students. As a matter of fact, if they don't regulate it, the students feel like, okay, they are in school, and when they are bored, they can just create anything, post it on social media, and then they are good to go. That is really bringing down the moral fabric of our society, because the moral fabric of our society is built on the foundations of discipline. And so if the students are using the social media anyhow, they think they can do anything they are seeing on the social media handles. As a matter of fact, maybe those who have posted that which the students want to copy might have lived life and they are making impact. Meanwhile, these students may also think that they want to copy and paste. And at the end of the day, because there is no regulation, they do it anyhow, they post it, and then at the end of the day, it becomes a problem. So this is my bit of if I should give you an answer to your question.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Aqua, before I let you go, what are the strategies that can be employed to encourage parents and community members to take an active role in promoting discipline?
Okay, so we need to encourage parents and community leaders to foster discipline from home. That is the first point of call. So in this regard, there should be initiatives to include awareness programs for parents on promoting responsible behavior and the impact on their on the support of their students.
Okay. Okay.
Because the saying goes that chastity begins at home. If they don't start from their various homes, what happens? Because we are growing into levels of independence. When the child goes to senior high school, there is one level of independence. So if in this regard, that thing of discipline is not really imbibed in the lives or in the lives of the students, it becomes a problem, and they think they can do anything at any point in time. So this is what I have to say on that. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Mr. Akwa, your final words before I go to Mr. Jikonu.
Okay, so my final words would be that the study we conducted on indiscipline in senior high schools in Ghana is such a very good one. As a matter of fact, we should all make noise about it. We should make sure that we are pushing it, getting it to all the media houses, all the social media handles, so that everybody will get to know what is going on. And then as a country, we all come together to make sure that we put in measures to overcome or to reduce this canker to its barest minimum. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akwa. Now, Mr. Jikonu, if you can hear me well, I want to ask you how can schools effectively communicate with parents and the community about discipline issues and policies? Mr. Jikonu, can you hear me? Your microphone is mute, please.
It's breaking down, but I'll respond to the issue. We just
I think we are having some internet.
Doesn't really look like. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir. We can hear you, please.
I'm saying that. Hello.
Hello, sir. We can hear you.
Hello. Okay. I'm saying that the school has a lot to do. There is a need for the school now to engage more with teachers through seminars and workshops, so that we can develop that kind of a teacher who is not seen like a policeman in the school, but a friend of students. These students that we teach, they see the teacher as a role model. A lot of them draw inspirations from their teachers. And so when teachers take their students as friends, they relate to them well. I'm sure most of them will take after their teachers. And it will be easier to mold behavior from that angle. Also, it is time we begin to engage the community through some of these sensitization programs on the role that they can play, especially supporting their children, most importantly the girl child. Because where children are in school and resources are not made available to them, sometimes they can fall prey to other, unscrupulous people here and there. And so it should be a collective effort from parents, from community members. The church has a major role to play through religious activities, educating the children on those values that are very important to mold them for the future. And youth groups in the school, sporting activities and all that, have their own rules and regulations in molding character. And I think that we need to revisit some of those things that we do in the school. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Jikonu, please, your final words before I let you go.
Yeah. Indiscipline in our schools, both from basic school to secondary school, is something that we cannot just leave for the school alone. But it needs commitment from the community, from all stakeholders, including those in parliament, including the church, and all other identifiable groups, NGOs involved in education, could also come up with programs that will help in character formation. And so we need all hands on.
Hello, sir, please, can you hear me?
Country, then we need to ensure that we imbibe in them the best behavior so they can become future leaders of our country. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. So that was Mr. Cosmos Jikonu, Senior Research Fellow and HOD for Center for Educational Policy Studies here at IRIS UEW, and Mr. Andrews Aqua, a Research Fellow at IRIS. Now, some of the teachers who attended this particular program had this to say with Windy News.
We cannot do anything outside what the government have told us. So my advice to my teachers is that we should follow whatever the government have told us to do as to how to shape the sons and daughters of Mother Ghana. Already we love them, we will not do anything negatively for it to affect their academic life or their total well-being. We love them. But there are some things we have been told, like corporal punishment or other things that we don't do. We have other means of correcting the child, not always using the cane. Well, some may say it is good. We used to, but now the policy says we should do away with it. So my advice to my other colleague teachers and head teachers is that it is a policy that we have to implement. We have no option but to stick to what government is doing, to use other correcting tools to help shape the life of the Ghanaian child.
About some of the causes of indiscipline in the senior high schools. The causes had to do with factors that are based in school and then societal factors. Then also some of the effects this indiscipline or the indiscipline is having on schools and then future leaders as Ghanaians as we are. If learners keep on being disciplined, the effect is going to have on us as a country in the future. And then also there were some recommendations that came in that we need to take a look at, such as reintroducing some aspect of corporal punishment and blending it with the new what we call tools that have been introduced. And then also we got to know that if these corporal punishments are reintroduced to make learners be a bit straightened in school. So these are some of the things that.
Well, some students also have this to say when they met with Windy News.
Today's program was actually a very interactive one. It has really given me the insight on how to help my people in the school with issues about indiscipline. And I've actually received information on some effects and then how to actually go about with them. So it has been really a contributive one. And I know for sure that I will be able to help my people out with ways that I can solve problems with indiscipline in the school, and we'll have a better life in the school.
My overview of this pleasant and exciting program is the poor education or the poor academic performance of other students, how the student break bounds and other stuffs. And to my contribution is that the program was very exciting and was very good. And it also made me understand some of the certain indisciplinary actions in my school and how I have to go by the rules and regulations, not to disrespect my teachers, and also emulate and or react like some of my teachers who are good and who are.
Today's program has really been helpful. After this program, I have realized that corporal punishment in various senior high schools is really good, because sometimes when we are being punished in schools, we do complain, so the teachers, why they punishing us. But after today's program, I have realized that corporal punishment in the senior high schools is really good, because it helps to shape in the lives of the students. Yes, and the program was really about indiscipline. So I have realized that ensuring discipline in the senior high schools helps to shape in the lives of students, so that we don't grow out to become indisciplined out there.
The Graduate Student Association of Ghana at the University of Education, Winneba, held its first ever Senate meeting at the Student Center Seminar Room 3. The meeting focused on the approval of the association's annual budget for the 2024-2025 academic year and the swearing in of newly elected executives. Addressing attendees, GRASAC UEW President David Kweku highlighted the crucial role the association plays in shaping both the academic and professional futures of graduate students. He emphasized GRASAC's commitment to fostering academic excellence, leadership development, and national progress.
This is David Kweku here for the GRASAC President. So I can say that it went well. At the Senate meeting, we approved our action plan for the year, and then the budget also is approved. So I would say it went well. Yes, the room was full to the capacity, which actually shows how interested college students have been as far as their welfare is concerned. So they attended, and I believe their contributions will go a long way to add value to this association. They were actually satisfied. What happened was they were looking for more copies so that they could probably scrutinize the documents. But then, as we also explained to them, because of funding, we projected that for them to peruse. And so that was actually what happened. And so even though they were not happy with most of them not having copies, they were happy with what we have in the budget, therefore. I must say I am indeed grateful to God for this particular day. I am so much satisfied, because looking at the timing where colleague second years who are not on campus may not come, we realize that out of the numbers, they are the most who came. You could see how interested they are. So I'm okay and I'm satisfied because of the number that we have and the contributions they made also on the floor of the Senate. So I'm so, yes, it's not that I think, I know.
You know. Wow.
I know very well. The number was way higher. Right. That shows how committed colleagues are.
When the news caught up with the newly elected GRASAC UEW attorney for insight into the role of GRASAC attorney and the swearing in of executives.
Yeah, I am Anas Zakaria, the newly sworn in GRASAC attorney for the 2024-2025 academic year. Exactly. The GRASAC Constitution made provision for certain committees and offices.
Okay.
But it was a little bit silent on the office of the attorney, even though it has recognized that there is a committee or commission, refers to as Legal Affairs Commission. Okay. But over the years, no president or no administration has taken a step to establish or appoint an individual to serve in this capacity until the current president who did so. That is why I refer to it as the first of its kind. I'm the legal advisor to the administration. I'm the legal advisor to the president. I'm the legal advisor to the executive committee, to Senate, and all members of the association. I'm the chief legal advisor to the association itself. So the members of the association, whether executives or not, whenever they have legal issues within the confines of UEW, I'm the one who would represent them. Not in law court, I mean within the confines of UEW. I can be a counsel to them whenever they are called upon to answer to set. Yeah, first and foremost, let me thank the president for having that confidence in me. Let me say the president has been my friend, but he did not appoint me because I was his friend. Okay. We were together in the Student Legal Society. Right. I served previously during my undergraduate days as Judicial Board Secretary for University Hall. I later became the Chief Justice for University Hall. Also served as Judicial Board Secretary for the SRC. I was also a member of the Student Legal Society, 3 times member of Parliament for Political Science Student Association. Right. So when it comes to student constitution and student legal activities, I would say that I have some level of appreciable knowledge of that legal engagements on campus. So maybe that is what the president has seen and has appointed me. Not to forget, during the electioneering period, I also serve as legal advisor for the campaign team. I was their legal advisor. We were advising on the constitutions, on the do's and don'ts of the regulations set out by the Electoral Commission at the time. Yeah.
The Directorate of ICT Service, in collaboration with the Division of Human Resource at the University of Education, Winneba, has launched a refresher course aimed at enhancing faculty members' proficiency in using the university's learning management system, vClass. The initiative seeks to equip educators with the necessary skills to effectively navigate and utilize the updated features of vClass, ensuring a more efficient and interactive teaching and learning experience. A training session was held at the Ejumaku Campus ICT Lab on Thursday, January 30, 2025. Faculty members participated in the program, which ran from 9 o'clock to 3 p.m., focusing on optimizing digital teaching strategies and integrating technology into the classroom. Windy News spoke with facilitators to gain further insight.
Basically, the program is a refresher course for faculty members of the University of Education, Winneba. We run the vClass, which is the learning management system for the university. And then we, over the years, have done upgrades. There was a major upgrade from the older version to the new version we are using, which came with new functionalities. So it was only appropriate to take our faculty members through the new features, introduce them to them so they can use them properly. And overall, I think that was achieved because most of them know how to use the vClass. So today's gave them the opportunity to see the new features, which they appreciated. For example, now they can do live stream, they can do live lecture in the vClass. That is a new feature, and then most of them appreciate it and they like it. We expect better usage of the learning management system, and we expect our students benefit more from it, basically.
The program is to equip the lecturers, academic staff, in order to enhance their teaching with the students. It's an online platform, has been updated from time to time. We have inputted some new features that at least they need to abreast themselves with it. They acquire through this workshop to our students. We are in a technological world where things are moving in a very fast pace. So at least we can't just sit and always be going by the traditional way. So at the end of the day, we expect the lecturers to push whatever they learned here to our young brothers and sisters, which is the students. There are new inventions. So as I stated earlier, there are new updates as compared to last year. So we have introduced a new platform, which is like an AI platform, whereby students can, before they can submit their assignment or work to their various lectures, they can use that to at least assess their work before forwarding it to their various lectures. I think it's a new thing that we have actually done. And also with the version of the app that we are using, that's the online system. Formerly, it was the last year's own was an older version. As to this year, then because of the upgrade, which has taken it to a different level by inputting or activating new features. We expect that at the end of the day, these new features are going to benefit the lecturers and also the students.
Away from the university stories, President John Dramani Mahama has issued a stern warning to incoming ministers regarding unlawful mining activities. The message was delivered by President Mahama on Thursday, January 30, 2025, during the swearing-in ceremony of 14 new ministers. In his address, President Mahama reiterated the government's firm stance on combating illegal mining, also known as Galamsey, and announced plans to hold discussions with stakeholders to find lasting solutions to the issue. Additionally, he revealed that the government intends to revoke all mining leases granted for operations in forest reserves under the previous administration.
I also need to state here that no member of this government is permitted to engage in any form of small-scale mining or galamsey. Any such persons will face sanctions which shall be swift and severe. We intend to call a stakeholder consultation on the menace of Galamsey to forge a broad consensus on the measures we intend to take to preserve our environment from wanton destruction. This will involve, but not limited to, the following: a river guard, which will employ youth from the communities affected by illegal mining, cleaning and eliminating toxic substances from our water bodies, reclaiming mined-out lands, training small-scale miners in sustainable mining practices. We've also begun the establishment of the Gold Board, which will ensure that Ghana gets the full benefit of the bountiful natural resource that God has blessed us with.
Moving on, a chaotic situation erupted during the Appointments Committee's vetting session on Thursday evening, forcing a change of location after tables and microphones were destroyed. In response to the disruption, Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga issued an urgent call for calm and announced a new venue for the continuation of the vetting process. He urged all parties involved to exercise restraint, emphasizing that the violence could damage Ghana's international reputation. The Majority Leader also described the extent of the damage, noting that the destruction had made it difficult to proceed with the vetting session.
Very, very sorry that these scenes that we are seeing are being projected to the rest of the country and to the world. The whole world knows that Ghana has one of the most beautiful and functioning democracies. The Ghana Parliament remains an envy of many parliaments. We've had an election that was so beautiful, the losing side conceded, and the whole world acclaimed us. And you could see that by the number of heads of states who came to witness the transition. So please, please, let us not destroy that image, that enviable image that we have carved for ourselves to the rest of the world as a beautiful, functioning democracy. I am pleading with all sides. I am pleading with all sides. As you can see, we would have continued, but logistically, it is no longer possible to continue. Logistically, the microphones have all been destroyed, and you know that with the microphones destroyed, it will be difficult for the media to carry the proceedings live at various stations. They may carry the image, but they cannot carry the voice. And vetting is about assessing and evaluating the nominee. It is practically impossible to continue with the vetting. So I am pleading with all sides that we should bring proceedings to an end, and tomorrow, given that the facilities here have been destroyed, by morning we'll designate a new location within the House to continue with the vetting of the nominees.
Minority Leader Alexander Afenyomarkin also had this to say.
We have to ask the relevant questions. You are aware that some of the nominees, we don't even questions. Where we have to ask the relevant questions, we will ask. Nothing will stop us from asking the necessary question. It's not every nominee. Some of their nominees spend 5 minutes. NDC is always up to intimidating people. They think that they must always bully. We will not accept any bully. They can call us micro-minority. They can say whatever they want to say. We've been cooperating with them. Today we agreed to do 3. The clerk to the committee is a partisan clerk. She is a typical NDC. She agrees with them. and then she advertises and informs people to come. All the practice has always been that chairman ranking would agree as to who and who will come. Yesterday, there was no agreement. The chairman was with me, no meeting. Then in the night, 10 p.m., the clerk advertised 10. This morning, my deputy was here. They had a pre-sitting. They agreed to 3. Later in the afternoon, they said 4. And then again, they said that, oh, let's compromise on 1 more. We said, okay, then he made it 5. Just as we finished the fit, we realized that paraded several other nominees, dressed, and then they thought that we would boycott. We will not boycott. We've agreed. We agreed by consensus to take it up tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Still on vetting issue, Minister Designate for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation, Sam George, has committed to take a hard position against mobile network operators who fail to satisfy service quality requirements, warning that fines will be enforced as necessary. During his vetting before a Parliament Appointment Committee, the Ningo Prampram MP emphasized the need for dependable telecommunications services and promised the regulatory measures, including financial penalties, would be severely enforced to hold network providers responsible. He also claimed that if confirmed as minister, he will collaborate closely with regulators to increase spectrum availability of MNOs while maintaining rigorous compliance with key performance indicators.
The real issue with voice calls is not necessarily the cost, if I understand the market, the quality of service. That's where consumers and customers have a problem, and that's where we all face the challenge, where you're making calls and the rate of call drops and call failures are extremely high. I agree with you that there is work that needs to be done from the ministry by way of policy through the regulator, the National Communications Authority, to ensure that the KPIs for the MNOs and service providers is enhanced and that we ensure strict adherence to it. If you set the KPIs low, every MNO is going to pass it. But the question is, are we having the real consumer experience that citizens have to have? As Minister Designate, I think no. I think that there's a lot of work that the telcos have to do. Government also has to do some work, because for you to get better quality of experience, you need to allocate more spectrum to the MNOs. So as Minister Designate, if approved by this House and I become the minister, one of the things we'll work with the regulators to do is to make more spectrum available to the MNOs. However, we'll be raising the KPIs and ensuring that the standards are met. And I will not be a minister who will be afraid to impose fines on MNOs who fail to meet the quality of service. Ghanaians deserve the best quality of service, and we would crack the whip where necessary, but we would also support the MNOs to ensure that they get what is needed to provide us the best quality of service.
Now we take a short breather. When you come back, it's business.
Hey there, welcome to Radio Unibe 98.3 FM. Seated right in front of you is Ampon Bismarck, so for short, Ampon B. Here we say we are the ultimate in campus radio. I entreat you all to be listening to Radio Unibe 98.3 FM. And your Radio Unibe, forget about it.
Hello. My name is Amina Abisibanan, a media personality at Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM. Kindly follow us on all our social media handles. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Follow us on www.uew.edu.gh. We are the ultimate in campus radio.
Welcome back from that short breather. Now let's do some business. Telecel Ghana CEO Patricia Obonai has highlighted the pivotal role of artificial intelligence as a driver for sustainability during a high-profile panel at the 2025 World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. The panel, titled AI as a Catalyst for Sustainability, was organized by Leaders on Purpose and Reuters and brought together CEOs and global leaders to explore AI's potential in fostering sustainable growth and revolutionizing industries. Moderated by climate, environment and conflict analyst Nazin Mushiri, Obonai shared compelling examples of how AI is transforming connectivity in emerging markets. She also outlined how Telecel Ghana is harnessing AI to optimize operations with a strong emphasis on maintaining positive environmental and societal impact. Still on business, the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana has congratulated Dr. Kassel Atoforsen on his appointment as Finance Minister and Elizabeth Ofosu-Ajari on her new role as Trade Minister. In a statement signed by Executive Secretary Samson Awingobet, IEAG expressed confidence in both ministers' leadership talent, emphasizing their capacity to change Ghana's trade and maritime sectors. The union vowed full cooperation with the incoming ministers, encouraging them to focus on important issues confronting Ghanaian businessmen. We again take a short breather. When you come back, it's sport.
Hey there, welcome to Radio Unibe 98.3 FM. Seated right in front of you is Ampon Bismarck, so for short, Ampon B. Here we say we are the ultimate in campus radio. I entreat you all to be listening to Radio Unibe 98.3 FM. And your Radio Unibe, yeah, forget about it.
Hello, my name is Amina Abisbanan, a media personality at Radio Widibe 98.3 FM. Kindly follow us on all our social media handles. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Follow us on www.uew.edu.gh. We are the ultimate in campus radio.
We are sorry for that technical issues. Once again, I say good afternoon to you. I am Jennifer Anil Jones, and I'm here to keep you updated in a world of sports right here on Windy News. Let's get started. Bronny James, son of Los Angeles legend LeBron James, was cheered by the Washington Wizards crowd as he scored a career-high 5 points against their own side in the NBA. In the Eastern Conference Southeast group, where we have the Washington Wizards, Miami Heat is leading the table, followed by Orlando Magic, Atlanta Hawks, Charlotte Hornets, and Bronny James Washington Wizards. So that is how it's like on the NBA table. Away from that, let's get to the UEFA Champions League 2025. The 2024-2025 UEFA Champions League knockout phase playoff draw takes place today, Friday, 31st January 2025. The knockout phase playoffs are new to the competition in 2024-2025, while the top 8 sides in the league phase qualify automatically for the round of 16. The teams finishing in 9th to 24th place kick off the knockout stages. They compete in 2-legged knockout phase playoff to secure their path to the last 16. From the knockout phase playoffs onwards, the tournament is a bracket. The teams that finish the league phase between 9th to 16th will be seeded for the first draw of the knockout phase and will face a team placed 17th to 24th. The seeded team will, in principle, play the return leg at home. Well, the fixtures have been drawn, and the match to look out for is Pep Guardiola City and then Carlos Ancelotti Real Madrid. Who is going to win? This is all we have right here on Windy Sports. I am Jennifer Aniel Jones. Good evening. Good afternoon.
Welcome back from that sports news. Now let's do some international stories. Uganda's Ministry of Health has confirmed a new Ebola epidemic in the capital, Kampala, with one recorded fatality. The victim, a 32-year-old male nurse, had high fever, chest pain and difficulty breathing, as well as bleeding from multiple body sides. He died of multi-organ failure on Wednesday at Mulango National Hospital, which is located in the city's central commercial center. This is Uganda's 9th recognized Ebola outbreak since the first case was reported in 2000. Sudan Ebola virus disease is a highly contagious hemorrhagic fever that spreads by contact with infected bodily fluids or tissues. It is one of numerous strains of the Ebola virus that can cause outbreaks. And finally, the rebel leader whose fighters have captured Goma, the biggest city in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, has vowed to continue their offensive all the way to the capital, Kinshasa. Colonel Nangaa, who heads an alliance of rebel groups that includes the M23, said their ultimate aim was to topple President Felix Tshisekedi's government. Unconfirmed reports say the Rwanda-backed rebels are currently advancing towards Bukavu, the second biggest city in the mineral-rich East, despite international calls for a ceasefire. In a televised address after the fall of Goma, Tshisekedi said a vigorous and coordinated response was underway to recapture territory from the rebels. Before we end Windy News, a recap of stories that made headlines. University of Education Winneba to upgrade German unit to departmental status. Grassac UEW holds first Senate meeting for 2024-2025 academic year. Ministerial vetting chaos forces venue change after destruction of equipment. And in business, Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana calls for bold reforms from Finance Minister and Minister Designate for Trade. On the foreign front, Uganda confirms new Ebola outbreak as nurse dies. And that will be all for today's Windy News. My name is Nana Ama Nyamike Baini. Thank you for doing the watching and do enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Hey there, welcome to Radio Unibe 98.3 FM. Seated right in front of you is Ampon Bismarck, so for short, Ampon B. Here we say we are the ultimate in campus radio. I entreat you all to be listening to Radio Unibe 98.3 FM. And your Radio Unibe, yeah, forget about it.
Hello, my name is Amina Abisibanan, a media personality at Radio Windy Bay 98.3 FM. Kindly follow us on all our social media handles. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Follow us on www.uew.edu.gh. We are the ultimate in campus radio.